Well, we're going to start today off. First I'm going to show you guys this right here. That was pretty depressing. I did that last weekend trying to back the car out of my little sr20det HQ. Backed it into the trailer. Hit this little piece right here. My mirrors were clear, but I obviously didn't see that piece in the mirror. Now for some just as bad news, maybe a little bit worse. This may be the last time you guys are going to see this car on the channel. Just recently I put the car up for sale. I found another car I was extremely interested in. I found two, and I'll be picking up one of the two after today. I'm getting the car ready. It's going to its new owner. I took the Nardi off because he needs to pass inspection, so I had to give him the stock wheel with the horn. But I'm giving him the car as is. Obviously I'm going to take all the stickers off of it, but S14 seat, stock steering wheel, all that crap, just I don't care, considering what I'm actually getting. I'm going to keep it a secret for a little while until I pick it up, but if all goes well I should be driving down to New Jersey to get it tomorrow. So I've got a little bit more work to do on this. It's smelling like fuel up front somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that these fuel lines need to be tightened, so I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to give the car a once over. I'm going to take my heat shield off because I need to return that plate to the DMV. And I'm just going to give the car a quick once over, make sure it's not leaking anything before it goes to its new owner, because I do not want this thing to blow up, man. And the only reason I'm selling it, I guess I'll tell you guys, the reason I'm selling it is because it's too clean for me to destroy. I built the car with intentions to drift it. Don't get me wrong, I've drifted it a couple times, not at the track or anything, but the car is all stock metal everywhere. There's not a speck of rust or rot on it. Like, it's too clean of a chassis to destroy, and S13s are a dime a dozen rotted, so who knows, maybe I'll pick one up in the near future. But for now, what I'm picking up is going to be the replacement for this car, and I'm going to keep it the way that I had the intentions of keeping this car and not destroying it and making a street car. So I'm going to be making a street car. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'll give you some hints. It's 4-door, it's Japanese, and it's going to be fun. So what I'm actually going to be working on within the next couple days is getting this S10 ready to daily drive, because I just got a new job in construction. So I'm not going to be driving the Z. So I'm going to get this S10 ready to drive. Got to do some brake lines, get a battery, coolant flush, oil change, all that good stuff. And I'm going to be retiring my Z to be my full-time drift car. Say hi to Ollie. Meow. So I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to tighten up the fuel lines, and then I'm going to start giving it a once-over, I guess. So let's get to it. Alright, so next is I'm going to check up everything on the coolant system. I'll probably back the car out a little bit and let it warm up. Actually, I should probably take that heat shield off first if I'm going to do that. So I should probably take that heat shield off, and then I'm going to back the car out and warm it up. And we'll make sure it's not peeing coolant, because the other day I drove the car for about 4 hours straight, and I parked it to look at my buddy's sister's Jeep, actually. And it was puking out coolant, so I did let the car get up a little bit to temp earlier. I'm just trying to make sure that it's not leaking. I don't want the car to blow up as soon as the kid gets it. So, alright, let's get to work. I'll pull the heat shield off. Alright, next up is pulling the car out. I'm just going to back it out a little bit so the ass ends out so I don't die of carbon monoxide poisoning. And I'll let it run until it gets up to temp. I'll chuck it a couple revs, and I'll make sure once everything's pressurized we don't got any leaks, because I don't want this thing, like I said, I don't want this thing going and just blowing up. So let's back it up and let it run. I am going to miss the way this car sounds. Temp yet? Definitely getting there. my leaks. No. It's looking like we're probably up to temp. I'm gonna check. The heat's blowing nice and hot. We're pretty much at temp. I'm gonna chuck it a couple revs. Let's inch her forward and make sure there's not a puddle under her. God damn, the heat's hot as hell in here. Stupid seatbelt. Oh, I have a fuel leak, huh? Well, I've got a fuel leak. I'm gonna shut that down. All right, so we just discovered a fuel leak. Alright, well, that fitting down there was actually extremely loose, so I tightened it up. I moved the clamp on the fitting right next to it to the left. I moved that up about an inch or so, and then I tightened all the bolts around the fuel pump to try and make it seal a little bit better. So now I'm just going to put the cover back. Well, I'll leave the cover off, actually, just to make sure it's not leaking. But I'm going to hook it back up. I'm going to run the car and make sure that nothing's happening with it. And hopefully we'll be good to go, and this person will be good to get the car today. Alright, well, as you can see, I've got an empty garage. And I've already made my trip to Jersey. This is actually a few days later. I didn't get a chance to film me actually bringing the car and selling the car because the kid actually showed up to my house. He bought the car right on the spot right there and drove it home. He didn't want to be on camera. I asked him. He was a little shy about it, but it doesn't really matter. But the car's gone, and I did make my trip to Jersey, so I'm going to bring the new car in right now, and you guys are going to see what it is. Well, I'm sure if you've seen the taillights from where it was, you probably know what it is already. But I drove down to Jersey and I got myself a R32 Skyline sedan. So it's a little bit of a downgrade from the 240, but I think it's going to be a hell of an upgrade in content, as well as a new project. I like working on cars more than, well, I like working on my own cars, rather, more than driving them, really. The build is more fun to me, so you guys are going to follow me along in this build. This is an automatic RB20 single cam sedan. This is the base model of the base model. You literally cannot get more basic than this car. Automatic. Sorry about the mess. I drove it to work this morning. But the interior looks like it's never been sat in. It's got 47,000 kilometers on it, which works out to just over 28,000 miles. Or 29,000 miles, something like that. So it's got under 30K on it. This car is pretty friggin' clean. I'm going to give it a good detail and a good buff. There's some damage on the passenger side, but it's very hard to see. You can see it right here. When they unloaded it off port, it came out of the container, and they actually scrubbed it against another Skyline. So you can see the paint transfer that I got to get rid of here. And it looks like they tried to touch it up down here, which I think looks disgusting, so I'm going to try and get that out too. But this is the new car. This is the reason I drove all the way to Jersey. This is the reason that I sold the 240 to start with. I saw this car pop up for sale, and I kept scrolling back up to where it was, so I knew I had to pick it up. It was just for me. So I hope you guys enjoy the little surprise, and I'm definitely going to do a little walk around of this car, especially while it's still bone stock, because I've got some pretty good plans coming up in the near future. But it's nothing major. Coupe rear end swap, and probably a Urus body kit for now until I can afford a GTR front, which is like $2,500, and I got other things to worry about then. The body kit's only like $500. And an RB20 DET swap and a 5-speed swap, and a welded diff, coilovers. I am going to drift it. A lot of people think I'm not going to. I am actually on the lookout for a new GoPro right now. I have a couple leads on Craigslist that I'm going to try and pick up today. So if I can pick one up, no matter what, I'm drifting hot import nights at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on the 26th and 27th of August. So if you guys are out there, be sure to look for me in the bone stock R32 sedan. It's not going to be hard to miss. I'll probably be the only sedan there. But I do have a couple other friends that are bringing their Skylines. So I guess I'm going to wait on these people to answer me off Craigslist for the GoPros, and I'm going to go take the Z for a drive because I've been neglecting it for the past 3 days. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one.